Hello and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen and today we're making bath bombs. We're not making soap, and I'm going to make 2 batches because when I pull out all the bath bomb ingredients and prep work and everything, I figure let's just knock 2 batches out while I've got everything going on. So today we're going to be doing Valentines is coming. I'm going to do a love spell bath bomb using this fragrance. This is a dupe of a Victoria's Secret perfume. Smells wonderful. It's very fruity and fresh and beautiful. So that's going to be one of the bath bombs, and I'm going to color the base of the bath bomb with this pink pig, which the name just cracks me up, but in bath bombs it's beautiful, almost like a cotton candy pink. It's lovely. And I'm going to do donut molds for my love spell, and then I want to do a cocoa butter frosting and use my little sprinkles. These are Wilton Sugar Pearl sprinkles. I got these in the wedding decorating aisle or the cake decorating aisle at your grocery store. They will often have like seasonal ones that go with the season. So these are tiny little hearts. So I'm going to do a cocoa butter drizzle, put these down. That's the love spell bath bombs. Of course, I'm going to share the full recipe in the description box below, and I'll talk you through as I do this. It's a pretty simple recipe, but I love it. It has the right balance of fizz and bubble, and I'm loving the recipe that I'm using. And then the other bath bomb that we're doing today is one of my all-time favorite fragrances, especially in soap. I love this soap. Well, we're going to do bath bombs in chocolate lavender from Wholesale Supplies Plus. Oh my word. This is just, I don't know what it is. I'm not a huge lavender fan, but something about this combo hits it for me. So for the colors, I will be doing my disc bath bomb mold for these. And for the body of the bath bomb, I'm going to use my chocolate brown mica from Wholesale Supplies Plus. Oh, sorry, trying to turn the label where you can read it. And I won't use a ton because, you know, you don't want brown bath water. That's not very nice. But this, a little bit will make the discs look sort of toasty and chocolatey, and it doesn't color. It makes your bath water sort of a beige. It's not offensive at all. So again, with the cocoa butter drizzle on top, and I will be using from Be Scented my lilac mica. So that's going to represent the lavender color. So it'll be chocolate with a lavender drizzle. And I haven't decided yet if I'm going to put some lavender buds on top, because of course then they will float in your bathtub. But I think if I just put a couple on there, they'll be easy to pick out, and it might just look so pretty on the bath bomb. So I'm still thinking about it. I go back and forth on non-soapy or items on top, like herbs and things. They look so lovely. But on the practical side, I'm like, is that going to bug you to have those floating in your bath water? Let me know what you think about that, having herbs and things on top that you have to knock off or deal with later. Also with lavender, they kind of can look like mouse droppings if you don't get the really vibrant colored ones. You know what I'm saying? You definitely don't want that in your bath water. So I'm still thinking about it. Oh, I'll figure it out by the time we get to that step. So let me get everything pulled together for bath bomb making, and I'm going to turn the camera around and show you I bought a stand mixer. I went back and forth. I've been mixing by hand and just not getting the fine powder of a bath bomb mixture that I wanted. So I bit the bullet and I didn't get the KitchenAid. I've been eyeballing KitchenAids. They're so expensive. So I found this one that I'm going to show you on Amazon for a super cheap price. I think it was like around the Black Friday sale, and it had a coupon. It was like 79 bucks. And I thought, I could blow through 4 of these and still, for cheaper than getting a KitchenAid. So I'm giving it a whirl. You're coming along with me as I use this. I'll give you updates on how it's lasting, how it's working. It is inexpensive. You can tell by the pieces on it. It's not the highest quality, but I've already made a couple of bath bomb batches with it, and it does what I bought it for. It's getting the job done. Let me turn you around and show you. All right, here it is. Wetty. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but it's pretty basic, but it's got a 6.5 quart bowl. I like that. It's a nice big size. Came with an instruction manual, different beaters, a little splash guard. Pretty basic, but for $80, it's getting the job done. And the motor seems pretty strong. So there it is. We'll be using that today. All right, it's time to start measuring out the dry ingredients, and I'm going to start with 30 ounces of citric acid. I get this in bulk on Amazon. It's a really good price. It's pretty inexpensive. All right, there's 30 ounces. This is one. I'm going to measure another one because we're doing 2 different kinds of bath bombs today. So I'm doing a double batch. And then this will just sit off to the side until we're ready to add it. And now it's time for the rest of the dry ingredients, which is, of course, the biggie, is baking soda. And I get these massive bags at Sam's Club. I've got them at Costco. You can get them at Walmart, Amazon. Very easy to find. But it does get a little clumpy sometimes, so I measure into one container and then I pour everything into my mixing bowl container and sift it through a sifter to get all the chunks out. So we need 47 ounces of baking soda. Now I'm going to do the second container, tear it out, and it does poof up a little. We're going to be measuring SLSA later on. You want a mask on for that. It is very light and gets airborne. It can irritate your nostrils and your lungs, so masks are highly recommended when using that. So another 47 in here. All right, next ingredient is Cream of Tartar. This is what a big bag looks like. Again, I got this from Amazon. This is a caking agent. This is going to help make your bath bombs nice and hard after they, dry out. And so, caking agent. Cream of tartar, we need 2 ounces in each of my buckets here. There we go. 2 ounces in that one. We'll come back here, tear it out, and do 2 ounces in here. I like doing double batches when I have all the ingredients out anyway. I think it just makes sense. Let's see. All right, use that up. Now I gotta dive into my brand new bag here. We got 2 ounces of cream of tartar, and now I need 1 ounce in each of Kaolin Clay. And that also is a caking agent, and it feels really good on your skin in the bath water. So I've got my bucket here of Kaolin Clay. I get this from many different distributors. Let me tear this out. 1 ounce in each here. Wholesale Supplies Plus will often have a good sale going on. You can get it at several different places. There's 1 ounce in there. Tear it out and do 1 ounce in here. Now, the SLSA powder. I got this from Be Scented. You can get it at several different distributors. Nature's Garden carries it. Wholesale Supplies Plus. It's pretty readily available. This makes a foamy, sort of bubbly activation in your bath bomb. If you don't want to use this, I'm going to be doing 1 ounce in each of my bowls. You can just adjust, add a little more kaolin and a little more cream of tartar to cover the 1 ounce of dry, or you can reduce your liquid portions and just play around with it. You don't have to have this in a bath bomb. I really like how it makes it fizzy and foamy, like bubbly, but this is an additive that I use, but you don't have to. So 1 ounce, whoops, tear out my scale. 1 ounce SLSA. Have your mask on because it is so fine of a grind, it gets airborne really easy. So I'm going to go ahead and measure the wet ingredients while I've got my scale over here before I pull up my stand mixer, my new snazzy stand mixer. So I got these little glass measuring things over at the kitchen widgety gidget aisle at Walmart. They're very nice for measuring. They have grams, they have ounces. I use them on a scale, but they're glass, so you can do your fragrant oils in here and use them over and over again. So that's what I'm measuring into. So we need to start with 0.7 ounces of oils. And this is where you can have some fun. You could do any oil that you want. 0.7, mix olive oil, shea butter. You can even use butters if you melt them. Today I'm going to be using grapeseed oil. I like grapeseed oil for multiple reasons. It's really good for your skin. And also it's a dry oil. It's not too greasy because these are bath bombs. So, this is the oil I'm using today, but you could use sweet almond oil, jojoba oil, get creative. So grapeseed oil, 0.7 ounces. We'll come back in. Because it has oil, we need polysorbate 80. What that does is emulsifies the oils in the bath water and helps it to not make a slippery bath water, so it's not dangerous. It helps to not leave a ring around your tub. This is going to help your oils rinse down very easily. So it's an emulsifier. So let's do 0.3 ounces of poly 80. Now, there are bath bomb recipes with no oils out there, and they're fantastic. Like one even, I saw a lady who just does baking soda, citric acid, and water, and she makes it work. If you don't have any oils in your bath bomb, you don't need poly 80. So if this is an ingredient that bothers you, look for a bath bomb recipe that has no oils, and you're good to go. And the next liquid ingredient is Witch Hazel. This is what I like to use. I have seen some I'm going to say soapers, some balm makers use 99% rubbing alcohol because that will evaporate out really well. I just really like the skin qualities of Witch Hazel, so that's what I choose. You could use water, rubbing alcohol, Witch Hazel. I haven't done aloe vera juice because that doesn't really evaporate. That's going to make a wetter bath bomb, but I haven't played around with that yet. If you want to, you could try a test batch. But anyway, Witch Hazel is what I'm using, and I need 0.8 ounces of Witch Hazel, so just under 1 ounce. Got this tiered out. Actually, I'm going to go to a full ounce because it's winter here and I have been making bath bombs and it's getting dry and I always end up adding more. So today I'm going to add a full ounce of Witch Hazel. And that's one of the things about bath bomb making. There is no 100% foolproof all the time, every season recipe. The humidity levels, temperatures, that all makes a difference when you're making a bath bomb. So the little wiggle room, you can add a touch more clay, you can add a touch more liquid, depending on the season, your climate, and things like that. So there is a little wiggle room bath bomb making. All right, in goes the Witch Hazel, and now the last but not least is my fragrance. And this is where I need to be careful and not get these mixed up. So I'm going to put one on here, tear it out, and this is going to be my love spell, and I'm going to set it over by my little sprinkles here so that I will not get the two fragrances mixed up. Of course I could smell them, but when I get busy, I don't want to grab the wrong container. So I need 1 ounce of love spell in here, and I will make sure to set this over by my love spell accoutrements so I don't get the two mixed up. All right, and that's going over there. And now, my favorite fragrance, chocolate lavender. 1 ounce of chocolate lavender. All right, I'm going to set that by my chocolate lavender press and everything. Keep them straight. So we've got the wet ingredients measured. We've got the dry ingredients measured. Now it's time to pull over the stand mixer and get them all mixing together. All right, so the first line of order is going to be sifting my dry ingredients here. Still have the citric acid off to the side, but all the other dry ingredients through the sifter to get a nice smooth powder in here. I do have my Witch Hazel in the spritz bottle off to the side in case I need to wet it as it's mixing, because like I said, I'm in the middle of winter. It's very dry down in my basement. My dehumidifier is hardly running at all right now. So I'm at about 39% humidity down here. It's pretty dry. So that's off to the side. So first things first, mask on, because the SLSA powder is in here. Until it gets wetted down, it's going to puff up, so be careful. Let's sift all these dry ingredients. And you can see the cloud coming off of there. You don't want to breathe that. There is our beautiful sifted dry ingredients. Now I'm going to pull over my fancy, inexpensive stand mixer. I'm trying to get an angle here where you can see it all. This mixer is hilarious. It's well, it was very inexpensive, and you can kind of tell it's inexpensive because it's a little bit cheesy, but it gets the job done. So, you know, sometimes you just do what you got to do. I'm trying to get a good angle. I'm not used to having the stand mixer here. I hope that's okay for y'all to see. Let me lower down my thing and I'm loving this color. That is so pretty. Kind of looks like cotton candy. It's beautiful. And it's looking like a good consistency. Oh, see, I still have powder in here. You see that? Let me just lift this out of here. I like to tip it up on its side so I can really get the bottom. So, you know, I saved a ton of money not buying a KitchenAid, but did I save money because I'm having to do this? If I had a KitchenAid already, I would have used it, but for the cost of a KitchenAid, I could get 4 of these to replace it. So I was like, well, I'm just going to grab the cheap one and we'll just take it from there. And if it's a total fail, you know, I can always get a fancy KitchenAid later. I'm going to give this another blend now that I've got the powder up off the bottom. Let me know if you have a KitchenAid and if you have to scrape the bottom or if your KitchenAid gets all the way down. I would love to hear that. All right, and now I'm going to add my citric acid in here that we've got the liquid ingredients well and incorporated so that it won't activate our citric acid. Let's get that blended in and then we'll test it and see if it's ready to mold. Again, I'm going to scrape around and make sure we got everything off the bottom. Want it very well and incorporated. All right, let's give it the squeeze test here. And it's holding together really nicely. I'm happy with this. So now it is time to get my press out and let's make some Love Spell donuts. All right, I'm back with my hand press from Bath Bombs Express, and I've been really enjoying this. It's really helped my wrists when it comes time to press these. So, got that ready to go. I have my 2 different donut size molds. I got these from Be Scented. I'm going to make some big ones and some little ones, so people have options. Love that. I do have over here a paper plate on my scale so that I can get the big ones all about the same weight and the little ones all about the same weight. So the paper plate just makes cleanup easier because when you do bath bombs, there's always, you know, sprinkles that get around the mold. So let's start with a couple of big ones here. And it's just the outside ring and 2 inside ones. So you put the bottom half on there, You fill it up, put the top half, press, and you're good to go. And also with donuts, I have my handy dandy chopstick that I use to poke the centers out. So let's get the scale tiered up for the big bombs, and we'll start packing them with this pretty pink fluff. Love it. Do batch number 2, the chocolate lavender. Here's the dry ingredients getting sifted. It's been about 24 hours since I made these bath bombs. I've got the little ones over here. With the one batch, I got 9 3-ounce little bath bombs and 11 big 5-ounce bath bombs. And aren't those just gorgeous? And they smell great. And so we are ready to do the frosting on these. I'm going to do them one batch at a time. I am not going to scent the frosting on these because they're very well scented, and I'm going to keep it uncolored so that I can drizzle these. Then I'm going to add my color and maybe a little scent for the chocolate ones. We'll get to those later, but I've got my sprinkles ready to go. And so I'm going to measure out. The first thing I need to do for my cocoa butter drizzle is melt the cocoa butter. And it's just 3 ingredients. Actually 4 if you add. I might add a little bit of white cloud mica in there. So the colorant is a negotiable ingredient. But to make the basic drizzle is you need cocoa butter, baking soda and a little polysorbate 80 so that the cocoa butter will emulsify with the bath water. So I'm going to start by measuring out some cocoa butter. This, I don't have exact measurements. Sometimes the texture is different each time. I'll tell you what I'm doing today, but it's been different each time I've made it. I'm just going for consistency. So we'll talk it through as I go. So I've got my little clean jar up here. I'm going to measure my cocoa butter in here. All right, let me just start adding in here. I don't need a lot because I'm not going to glaze the top. I'm just doing a drizzle. So I think I'm going to do about, yeah, let's do 3 ounces of cocoa butter is what I'm going to end up melting here. There we go. And after it's all made, I'm going to put it in my little squeeze bottle here. This is just like a ketchup bottle type you can get at the grocery store in the kitchen gadget aisle. And so I can put my little drizzle down, very controlled. And so anyway, I'll be using this bottle. 3 ounces of cocoa butter. I'm going to get this melted, and then we'll come back and I will start with equal parts. I will do 3 ounces of baking soda, stir it, and see how the consistency is. And I may need to add more as we go. So let me get that melted. All right, back. I just pulsed this in the microwave to get it melted, and it's almost all melted. There's just a couple little chunks in there melting down. So before I add the baking soda, I am going to go ahead and use my Shimmer White Cloud Mica from Wholesale Supplies Plus, just to make this nice and bright. I want it to be really, really, really showy and pretty. So go ahead and add, this is a baby spoon, so that was about a half a teaspoon. We'll just mix that into the oils, and then we'll add the baking soda. This way I can make sure it's fully mixed. If I add the baking soda in there, I might have some chunks, and you know, I don't even want to mess with that. Look how pretty and pearly that is. Isn't that the most beautiful pearly color? Now, of course, I'm using undeodorized, unrefined cocoa butter, so they have a creamy hue to them. And they also have the natural cocoa butter scent, which I particularly love. But if you're not a fan of the color or the scent, you can get the deodorized wafers in there, very light ivory color. So that's why this is kind of an ivory color, because that cocoa butter is that color. So I've got the mica all blended in here. Now I'm going to tear my scale out. I'm going to add 3 ounces of my baking soda, and I get it in these ginormous bags. So all right, so I've got 3 ounces in there, equal portions cocoa butter and baking soda, and we're going to just blend this. And here's the thing too, so the cocoa butter is very warm, and of course as it starts to cool, it's going to thicken. So if this is way too runny, I don't want to add too much baking soda because I don't want it to be gritty. You can just wait for it to cool a little bit and it will thicken, because right now it's too runny. If I put this on the donuts, it would just all drip down and be on the mat. So I want it thicker than this. So I'm going to go ahead and add another ounce of baking soda because this is very thin. So for a total of 4 ounces of baking soda, let's go for that. All right. I'm going to get this stirred in, add my polysorbate 80, and I'm going to let it cool for a bit and see how I like the consistency. I want to make sure I get all the chunks out, nice and smooth. Yeah, this is getting to be a really nice consistency now, but I think I still will let it cool. So let me tear this out. Polysorbate 80, our emulsifier, I'm going to add 0.5, so half an ounce of polysorbate 80. All right, there we go. And again, that will just help it emulsify in the bath water so you don't have a really slick floor to your tub. You don't want this to be dangerous, and you also want it to rinse very cleanly down the tub when you're done. All right, so that is it. I'm just going to let this cool for about 5 minutes, and we'll come back and check in and see if it's thickened up enough to where I'm happy with it, and then I'll put it in here and we'll get to frosting. Actually, I want to revise that. I'm going to pour it in here while it's still a little warm, and then I can just shake it up and check the consistency that way. But I want to pour it while it's still nice and fluid here to make sure, you know, I don't have any problem getting it all in here. So there we go. All right, it's been a good couple of minutes. It's cool enough, so let's give it a try and see if it's the right consistency. I just want it thick enough so it doesn't all just run away on me. And I will do the drizzle, then I will put my little hearts on, and that's gonna be it. I will let this dry, the cocoa butter, I'll let it dry for probably at least 12 hours or so, cool completely. Then I'm gonna shrink wrap these, label them, and they'll be ready to go. I'm back with my chocolate lavender discs. These smell so divine to me. So now I'm going to take the cap off and add just a little bit of my lilac mica in here to color it, to drizzle the tops of these. I do have my very vibrant color lavender buds, and I may just put a couple on each disc. I've decided not much, just a couple, but they're so pretty and it goes right along with the theme.